Okay, stop scrolling. What if I told you that you could make this gorgeous, semi-creamy, layered dessert with absolutely no baking required? Stay with me, because I'm about to show you how. So, are you ready to make some magic? Come on, let's do it together.
Okay, let's talk dessert for a minute. Picture this. Something that looks, absolutely gorgeous. Creamy, layered. And here's the kicker. Absolutely no baking involved. Sounds almost too good to be true, really?
Well, maybe not. We've been digging into some sources today, mostly video clips, some descriptions too, all about a dessert exactly like that. And what really jumped out, honestly, was how simple they all made it sound, surprisingly so.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's pull up the key steps, and figure out what the sources highlighted that makes this seem like, I don't know, no bake magic, but is actually pretty straightforward.
Right. And it all boils down to some really basic stuff, ingredient-wise.
Like what?
Well, things like classic biscuits, the type, like Petit Beurre maybe, plus semolina, milk, sugar, super accessible things the sources kept mentioning.
Okay, accessible. So let's build this thing. How do you start? The sources show just laying down biscuits.
Yep. First layer right in your serving dish or tray. Super easy foundation.
Yep.
And while that's sitting there, you turn to the creamy part, the pudding. The sources showed mixing the dry bits in a pot first.
Dry bits being?
1 glass of semolina, 1 glass of sugar, and about a tablespoon of starch.
Hold on, a glass. What does that mean? Did they, specify?
They just kept saying glass. It's pretty common in some places. Kind of implies a standard drinking glass measure. It's more about the ratio,
Gotcha. Ratio.
And the semolina, think coarse wheat flour and starch, usually cornstarch. That combo gives the pudding its body. No eggs, no gelatin needed, which the sources pointed out.
Okay. That's the trick. So mix the dry stuff, then add most of the milk.
Exactly. The sources usually mention about 1 liter of milk total, but you keep some back, maybe 200 mils, like 1 glass again.
Right.
The rest, maybe 800 milliliters, goes into the pot with the dry mix.
And you cook that, stirring.
Yeah.
And you can actually see it thicken up.
Yeah, it happens pretty fast, according to the videos. You stir, it thickens. And here's something the sources really stressed. The second it properly boils. Kill the heat. Immediately. Don't wait.
Right. Turn it off. Then what?
Then pour just half of that hot pudding right over that first layer of biscuits you put down. Spread it out.
Okay. Timing is key there. Hot pudding, half of it over the first biscuits. Then another layer.
You got it. Straight away, another layer of those same classic biscuits goes on top of the hot pudding.
Biscuit pudding, biscuit. Okay, but what about the other half of the pudding? Still in the pot, probably cooling down, getting thicker.
Yeah, this was another neat little step the sources showed. Remember that milk you saved? That 200 milliliters.
Just milk, yeah.
You pour that reserved milk into the pot with the leftover pudding.
And just stir it in. And it loosens it back up. That seems too easy.
Honestly, yeah. The sources showed it just smoothed it right back out, made it pourable again for the second layer. No reheating needed. It was presented as just a really smooth fix.
Huh. Clever. So you pour that loosened second half over the second layer of biscuits, spread that out.
And that's your main structure. Biscuit, pudding, done.
So how do you finish it? What goes on top?
Well, the sources consistently showed this interesting topping. A layer of sesame biscuits arranged right on the surface.
Sesame biscuits. Okay, different texture, bit nutty maybe?
Exactly. Adds a little something different. And then for that final visual pop.
Strawberries.
Yeah, fresh strawberries, tucked around, maybe sliced on top of the sesame biscuits. Just makes it look lovely and fresh, like in the videos.
And then just chill it. That's it.
That's basically it. Stick it in the fridge until it's totally cool and set enough to slice nicely. The sources really made the whole assembly look surprisingly quick.
So, okay, let's recap. We've got layers of simple biscuits. A cooked semolina pudding where the key seems to be that semolina starch combo and the reserved milk trick for the texture. Then that unique sesame biscuit topping and some fresh strawberries. The sources just kept hitting that note. Easy, minimal effort.
Totally. It's presented as like a foolproof, quick thing, something you could whip up if people are coming over, like some description said, or honestly, just for yourself when you want something sweet without firing up the oven. A real shortcut to something that looks pretty impressive.
It really makes you think, though, doesn't it? When you see it broken down like this in the source's simple layering, a basic cooked pudding, that smart use of reserved milk, it kind of challenges that idea that a fancy dessert has to be complicated or baked. You know?
It really does. This look at the sources shows how understanding simple ingredients and using straightforward techniques layering, thickening, can create something genuinely stunning. It makes you wonder, how many other desserts do we maybe overthink? When maybe some basic components and clever layering could get you something amazing without all the fuss.
At the time of this video's publication, nature grows everything fresh in abundance. I suggest you watch the video on how to make a side dish at home to put in the freezer. See you in the next video.